Hello there, Rachel. It's been some time since you and I have last talked, hasn't it? I was just curious if you were already done with work for the day.
Oh, hello, Mom. Yes, I'm done with work. But do you mind if I ask what this is about and why you're messaging me?
I just want to know if you're already at home or not. So are you? Are you still on the road, or are you at home?
I'm actually still on the way back home right now, but not quite there yet. Now, can you please tell me what all of this is about, Mom?
I just wanted to get in touch with you about New Year's, if you must know. I want you to come and visit us at our house this year.
Mom, I'm sorry, but I've already told you that I'm not going to be going back to that house ever again. I mean, do you really forget all that you put me through while I was still living there?
Oh, come on. That was 3 years ago already now, wasn't it? You can't tell me that you're still really upset about that, right? Why can't you just forget about that and let bygones be bygones? Honestly, it's so silly for you to hold a grudge like this.
You might think that it's something you can just forget, but it isn't like that for me at all. I know all about how while I was still in the hospital, you lied to the doctors to get them to release me earlier than they should have. And then you forced me to recover at home while you tried to do everything for me. But I needed to be cared for by a medical professional. You lied to the doctors and you lied to me, and I am not going to forgive you for that.
Oh my goodness, Rachel. I really am sorry about what I did back then. You're right. I shouldn't have taken things as far as I did. But I want you to know that I've thought long and hard about my actions. And so please, I was just hoping that you'd be able to rethink your whole attitude about this as well. I mean, you have to know how much I've regretted my actions these past 3 years.
Are you being honest with me? Do you really regret what you've done? Because I don't think you've ever admitted to being wrong about anything.
Look, I admit that I was under a lot of pressure back then, and I really wasn't thinking clearly about my actions at all. But I just want you to know that it was because of how much I worry about you. I mean, you're almost 30 and you're still not married, and you don't have any kids either. And I imagine that you've just been putting all of that off and wasting even more time these past few years as well, right? But don't worry. The truth is that I've really just given up on you at this point. Or trying to control you, anyways.
Really? You're really telling me that you don't want to try and tell me how to live my life anymore?
Well, I just understand that no matter what I have to say to you, you aren't going to listen and insist on doing things your own way. And frankly, I'm too tired to put up with that right now. Besides, at least your older brother Chris got married, so that's been a big relief for me. Now I just have to count on him to give me grandchildren. Of course, I would have preferred to have grandchildren from my daughter, but I guess that we can't always get what we want.
I really wish that you wouldn't say those kinds of things to me. It really makes me feel like you're trying to guilt me. Besides, I don't really see why it should matter where your grandchildren come from. You should still love them all the same, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Whatever. But I don't see what's wrong with me expressing how I feel about all of this to you.
Well, it's just that we've already talked about what I want to do with my life, so why don't you just be happy with what you have? I mean, I certainly hope that you haven't been putting Chris under the same kind of pressure that you were putting me under.
No, of course I wasn't doing anything like that. But Chris and his wife are eager to have a child of their own.
Okay, well, I really do hope that's the case and you're not putting undue pressure on his wife either.
I don't need you to be telling me how to interact with your brother and his wife. Thank you very much. Besides, I'm her mother-in-law, and I have a say in how she lives her life.
I mean, I suppose there's not much point in arguing with you about all of this, but you should know that I've only ever met Chris's wife twice before.
Oh, really? Is that so? I didn't realize that you two weren't all that well acquainted with each other.
Yes, and the first time we exchanged numbers and I sent a message once, but we just never really got anywhere in our conversation. So I was wondering if you could tell me about her and how Chris are doing. Does she seem happy?
Yes, Rachel. Your brother's wife, Linda, seems very, very happy with him. In fact, you must know that we all live together, right?
Hold on a second. You mean that you're living with Chris and Linda? All three of you in the same house?
Well, it's just that Chris is just so bad with money, as you know. So we asked if they could move into our family house to save a little bit of money, and of course I said yes.
You're kidding me. I really had no idea about that at all, but I guess times are tough, so people need help where they can get it.
You don't think that I somehow forced the two of them to move in with me or anything like that, do you? Because I will simply not stand for that kind of slander from you.
Mom, are you okay? I really don't care all that much about what living arrangement you have as long as it's safe. I just worry that now that you're all living together, you might be struggling to share your space.
Of course I'm not struggling. I'm a very good sharer, and I know how to live with others, thank you very much. You really are such a rude daughter, do you know that? I really wish that I had a way to just snap you into shape so that I wouldn't have to deal with all this backtalk. You know, Linda never ever says a word back to me. She's an obedient young woman who knows how to take orders, which makes her a much better daughter than you are in my eyes.
I really don't know if the fact that Linda isn't brave enough to speak out against you is a good thing, but I can see why you think it would be. Still, though, it sounds to me like you might not actually be giving Chris and Linda all the space and freedom they might need.
Nonsense! You don't know what you're talking about at all! Look, your brother married this woman, which means that she's part of our family. Do you really think that I could run off a woman like that? I am no more a source of tension in the relationship than you are.
Okay, well, I just remember after you and I had our falling out that Chris was telling me you were really after him about finding a wife.
Well, of course I was. You had just left the house, and I didn't know what was going to happen next. You're not actually going to try blaming me for anything about that, are you? Look, I just want to know if you'll come back to the house for New Year's since we are all there now.
And you're really not planning anything strange or funny that I should be worried about?
No, dear. I've already told you that I've given up all hope that you'll ever be a good daughter who will obediently do what I say. Although, I suppose there are some reasons why I want you to come back.
And just what might that reason be?
Well, you do know your Uncle Ted, right? Your father's younger brother? Well, you see, he's actually going to be moving into a retirement home next summer.
Oh, really? I didn't know that Uncle Ted was going to be doing that. I hadn't heard anything.
Of course. Well, you know how high blood pressure runs quite well. High among the members of your father's family. After all, that's what took your grandpa when he passed away. But anyways, your Uncle Ted is already older than his father when he passed away. But that's why he's trying to be careful about his health. And since he's single, he wants to live in a place that will have a staff that will be able to provide the kind of care that he needs.
I see. Well, I guess that all makes sense. But what does this have to do with me?
Well, you do know how you were always your uncle's favorite niece, don't you? I think the least that you should do is say hi to your uncle before he goes into this home. You don't know when you might have a chance to do that again.
Well, okay. I think I get what's going on here, at least. If that's the case, then I'll come home for New Year's.
Oh, really? You will? Oh, this is just wonderful news. Thank you so much for saying that. Make sure that you find a hotel to stay at soon, okay? We've already converted your room into an office and storage space, so there's no room for you here.
Okay, yeah, sure, I can do that. I'll start looking into that soon.
And I think that it might start snowing here too, so make sure that you pack accordingly and plan for that. Got it? Hey Rachel, where are you? It's New Year's and you've already ran off. Where did you go? I hope you know that we're all ready to sit down and eat dinner. We're just waiting on you.
Well, I went to go and see Uncle Ted, and I was going to be eating over here. Besides, you lied to me again. I can't believe that I let you trick me. You don't respect that I'm putting off getting married at all. I saw all the photos of the men who you were going to try and set me up with. I mean, do you really think that I'm going to go for an arranged marriage?
Oh, come on. The least you could do is look at the photos and at least see if there's anyone among all of them who would catch your eye, you know. Would it really kill you to do that?
I don't think it would kill me to do any of that, but it's the fact that you went behind my back to do this that makes me so upset. I told you that I wasn't interested in getting married right now, and you still insisted on doing this. I mean, don't you already get how upset I am with you over this? Why do you try to push me even further?
I just don't understand what's the matter with you, Rachel. What is it about marriage that makes you so opposed to it? Do you want to spend the rest of your life single and alone?
Mom, what I want to do is get to choose what happens in my life. Is that really so bad?
Well, I think that sometimes we need some help from others in figuring out just what it is that we should be doing.
I really disagree and don't want any of your help with that anyways. Thank you.
Oh, come on. Just think of your brother. He's older than you, but he's still got married. Doesn't that make you want to think about getting married as well?
I think that it's great that my brother was able to find a wife who makes him so happy and who he can do the same for her. But I haven't met anyone like that, and frankly, I'm not looking for anyone like that. And what about Linda? Where is she anyways? I didn't see her at home the entire time that I was there.
What do you mean, where is she? I thought I told you that her and your brother had both moved in with me. That's where she is.
I mean, where in the house is she? She was there when I first came into the house, but I haven't seen her since arriving. Even when we all sat down for breakfast, she was nowhere to be found.
Well, she had breakfast earlier than the rest of us, and you took too much time leaving your hotel to be able to catch her, if you must know.
Really? So you're saying that I am just always barely missing her? Is that right?
Well, I asked her to step out of the house and get some things for us that we might need. After all, with so much family coming in, we're going to have to stock up on food. But anyways, she doesn't mind, and I think she enjoys going out and being helpful and all of that. She's always going out offering to run our errands for us. And I think it's wonderful that she's always so eager to help around the house the way that she does.
Okay, well, I've heard that you've been saying some pretty mean things to Linda, actually.
Look, I just don't really think that you two need to be all that near each other. The truth is that I worry that you'll have a negative influence on her, and I want her to stay the way that she is.
Okay, well, that makes me all the more worried about all of this. I'm really not sure of what your game here is, Mom. But I do know that I haven't gotten to say a single word to Linda since arriving here, and I think that something is up with all of this.
Oh, please. You are just being paranoid. You really must stop this. I mean, after all, are you forgetting I was the one who offered the two of them a place to live in the first place? I really think that you need to stop being so suspicious of me and see all the good that I've done for the two of them.
I don't really even know if I can believe that from you anymore, but I will say that I'm worried that Linda's okay.
And I am telling you that there's nothing to worry about at all. Do you understand me? Why do you always have to act this way when it comes to me? Anyways, does this mean that you're not going to be coming back home at all? Are you really just going to stay away for the rest of your trip?
Actually, no, I won't be going back anytime soon. I'm going to go and meet up with a friend and then go back to my hotel. I don't want to go back home just to be bombarded with more of you trying to convince me to get married. And I can't believe that you'd convince our relatives to go along with your plan too. I thought that I was going to see my frail old uncle, and instead you just set a trap for me to walk right into.
Oh, come on. Your flight back home is in a couple days. You have to come back home and be with the rest of us. You can't just ignore us like this.
I actually can do whatever I want, and this has been the main sticking point between you and I. So I'm not going to go back home, and I am going to wait in my hotel until it's time for my flight back.
But you said that you wanted to talk to Linda, right? What if I can arrange that for you? I could tell her to be home when you will be tomorrow.
I just want you to know that if Linda starts asking me about when I'm going to be getting married, I am not going to be happy. In fact, if that happens, I'll probably never ever talk to you ever again, Mom.
Okay, I get it. You're very serious about all of this. I won't say anything more about the matter if it makes you happy.
I really just can't believe that you would do what you did. I mean, really? All those photos were just ridiculous.
Well, I just didn't want to waste this chance since you made the effort to come all the way out here. I mean, I really do think that you should at least try and choose a couple men who you'd like to see. Just think about me and my life. You think that I have much longer here? Don't you want to do this for me?
I'm not having this conversation, but I am going to be heading to your place for dinner. Got it?
Excellent. I'll order some food to be delivered and it'll be a great time. And hopefully, while you're at my house, you can learn a thing or two about respecting your elders.
Linda, are you there? It's Rachel. I was just curious about how you've been.
Rachel, is that you? Why are you messaging? Did something happen? Is everything okay?
Well, I just have barely seen you at all since I arrived into town, and so I was curious about what you've been up to. By the way, where are you right now? My mom told me that you'd gone out to do a little shopping, but you've been gone a long time.
Oh, well, there's really nothing to worry about at all. I'm always around and nearby, so you don't have anything to worry about with that.
Oh, really? So you're still in the area? Well, that's good to know at least. I just wanted you to know that the food my mom ordered has been delivered, so you should hurry back to eat with us. I seem to remember you mentioning to me how much you really liked this place, so I was really pushing for my mom to order from it.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me to eat with you all. That really is sweet. But please, don't bother waiting for me to go all the way back home. You all can start without me.
But you just said that you were pretty nearby, right? Are you telling me that you aren't going to be coming home for dinner?
Oh, well, you see, the thing is that I'm actually out shoveling all the snow for all the driveways in the neighborhood. But once I'm done, then I was going to come back and eat. So I think that it might take some time before I'm finished here, and that's why you should just go ahead and not worry about waiting for me.
Hold on a second, are you telling me that you've been outside shoveling driveways this whole time? But it's freezing out there.
I know, but I'm still not finished, so I just simply can't go back yet. And anyways, with all the snow that we've had this year, I really have my work cut out for me.
I have no idea what my mom is up to now that she has nobody to help her out with the debt that she accrued for herself. I heard through the grapevine that she's gone back to work and was forced to move into a tiny little apartment after selling the house, but if you ask me, it serves her right. I only hope that one day in the future my mom is able to realize just how horribly she's treating you, Linda.
Well, because your mom told everyone in the neighborhood that I would do it for them. So now if I don't do it, it's going to make the family look bad, and we can't have that happening.
But, I mean, I don't really think that I'm following along. Are you sure you can't come home just so that I can ask you about all of this in person?
Rachel, are you there? I need you to return Linda to me right this second. Do you understand me?
What in the world are you talking about, Mom? I mean, really, did you think you were going to get away with this? I can't believe you would stoop so low as to do something like this. You really are just horrible, do you know that? I mean, not only did you steal all of Linda's savings that she's had since before getting married, but you've been using her like a servant. I don't even know what to say to you right now, but I want you to know that I talked to Chris about this, and we agreed that I'll be holding on to Linda for the time being.
Are you crazy? Do you expect me to believe that your brother would ever go for something like that?
I think that after I showed all of the things that you've been putting poor Linda through, that he had no choice but to believe me and let me do this. But I mean, really, you lied to me about those two choosing to live with you. I knew that you just bullied my sensitive brother into going along with whatever you wanted. I should have known that you were lying to me, but I just thought that I could trust you this one time.
Well, I really didn't have any other choice in the matter. I hope that you can see that at least. I mean, you should know that there was no way that I was going to be able to live on my own.
I really don't care what excuses you've made up to try and explain any of this. I mean, really, if you're having trouble living on your own, you can really only blame yourself. After all, you were the one that spent all of Dad's inheritance after he died. But you couldn't take responsibility for your actions, so you tried to pass off all the consequences to someone else.
But, I mean, I just didn't think that making Linda do all of those things was going to be such a big deal. I had no idea at all.
Really? You mean you didn't think that maybe you were taking things a little too far when you sent her out to shovel snow for the entire neighborhood? And all because you're in debt to about half the people that you're living near because you keep needing to borrow money? I'm sorry, man, but if this is how you live and you think it's okay, then you're an idiot. I mean, really, just how old are you that you think this is okay?
But, Rachel, please, you don't understand just how much debt I'm really in. Things are looking really, really bad for me right now.
And just who was the person who spent all their money and started borrowing in the first place? But at least you had someone like Linda who would let you walk all over her and do your dirty work for you.
I didn't make her do anything. She wanted to do this for me because of how long we'd known each other for. She was happy to do this.
Well, that's not what she's telling me. She told me all about how you've just been using her to do favors to whittle down your debt. But Chris and I aren't going to let you do this to her any longer. We are through with you and never want anything to do with you ever again.
But wait! You can't just leave me! Please! You two are all that I have left right now! It wasn't supposed to go like this!
After that, I blocked my mom on everything and I ignored any attempts she made to try and reach out to me. Chris and I talked and we both agreed not to talk to Mom anymore. We cut her off and focused on making sure Linda was okay instead. Chris decided that things would be best if they packed up their belongings and moved far away from my mom, so that's just what they did. I made sure to give them all the help that I could while they prepared to move their things. I have no idea what my mom is up to now that she has nobody to help her out with the debt that she accrued for herself. I heard through the grapevine that she's gone back to work and was forced to move into a tiny little apartment after selling the house, but if you ask me, it serves her right. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.